Good day, everybody. So, for today, we're going to talk about special education programs and services. From the previous lessons, lagi nating binabanggit yung education for all. 'Di ba? Sinasabi doon that all the children and youth ay deserve ng quality education. So, regardless of their race, regardless of their religious affiliations, walang kinalaman yung socio-economic status nila and even their gender. Everyone has the right for quality education. At nalaman din natin previously that there are laws in the Philippines surrounding the protection and the provision of programs and services to those people with exceptionalities and disabilities. So yung mga bata na gifted, exceptionally talented, those who have intellectual and physical disabilities, yung mga may emotional and behavior disorders, all of them are entitled to benefit from the special education programs and services. Sino nga ba ang in charge sa pagpa-provide ng programs and services in our country pagdating sa special needs? So for our Department of Education, we have a Special Education Division ng Bureau of Elementary Education. So sila yung in charge sa programs and services in the country. Now, may function yung agency na to, yung government agency na to. And one of those functions is to formulate policies, plans, and programs. At kasama na din doon yung to develop standards of programs and services. Maybe you're wondering what's in store for these children and youth with special needs. Ano-ano yung mga pwedeng i-provide ng public and private institutions for them to be able to avail quality education. So yun yung pag-uusapan natin today. So previously, I sent you the statistics of the special needs condition dito sa Pilipinas, Pero I can attach it here also in this video para you'll have a refresher of what it looks like on a bird's eye view. Kung ano nga bang itsura, nasa na tayo, ano yung statistics na meron tayo, ilang porsyento ng mga bata ang merong disabilities, ano-ano yung mga centers na provided for them. So simulan na natin the range of SPED programs and services. First on the list is the SPED Center, a service delivery system that operates on the school within a school concept. Ano na nga yung concept na yon na school within a school? Yes, the Silahis concept, Ang function ng SPED Center, doon pinapatupad lahat ng special education programs in the school. So, sino-sino yung mga tao na involved pagdating sa delivery of special education programs? Siyempre, sisimulan natin with the SPED principal. So, siya yung nagfa-function as the admin of the SPED Center. Kasi there are rules, There are regulations for a SPED Center in relation with a regular school. So, dapat alam ng principal kung what is allowed, what is not allowed, what should be in place, and what should not be in place pagdating sa establishment of a SPED Center. So, dapat full support si principal, Dapat well aware siya dun sa mga protocols na meron. Now, we also have the SPED teacher, of course, Kasi siya yung nagmamanage naman ng mga self-contained classes, siya yung nagmamanage ng mga special needs classes. Very important ang role ng SPED teacher kasi pag nag-transition ng isang bata from SPED class to the mainstreaming, to the regular class, kailangan kasama pa rin siya, Meron pa rin consistent monitoring. Aside from that, the tutorial and mentoring, syempre kasama. And then, the assessment, siya ang nagkakandak. Assessment nung bata kung meron bang development. Assessment kung pwede na siyang i-mainstream. Also, kasama rin siyang nagpa-plan ng parent education, which is very important. And guidance and counseling services para sa mga estudyante na may special needs. Kasama na rin dito yung paggagawa ng mga advocacy programs to promote the education of children with special needs, lalo-lalo na pagka nasa regular school, kasi nga school within a school concept. So, bago i-transition yung bata into a regular school, kasama yung SPED teacher when it comes to planning and implementing appropriate strategies So, very important and very crucial ang role ng SPED teacher. Now, pati classroom teacher kasama din, ano? If the child would be allowed to be part of the regular class, may kasama rin yung classroom teacher sa isa sa mga may crucial role kasi siya naman ngayon yung mag-a-absorb nung bata sa klase niya. So, it is her role to make sure that everyone is adjusted. Adjusted yung bata na may special needs, adjusted din ngayon yung mga kaklase niya. And he or she has to work closely with the SPED teacher kasi dapat may follow-up yung progress ng bata. The next one naman is the special class or self-contained classes. So this is the most popular type among the special education programs. So what do you think is the most efficient way to handle students with special needs? No, dapat ba sa isang classroom magkakasama yung may magkakaibang disabilities, or is it more efficient na pare-pareho yung disability sa isang self-contained class? What do you think? Some would say dapat iba-iba, no? Kasi para may diversity, ganyan, para mas masanay sila at how to deal with other people, how to deal with the behaviors of others. Pero, in reality, it is way much practical kapag ka magkakasama yung pupils with the same exceptionality or disability. Bakit ganon, no? First is the ease of instruction. Siyempre, mas madaling magbigay ng instruction, mas madaling magpa-activity, mas madaling magturo kapag iisa lang yung mode of instruction mo. Halimbawa, in one class, lahat sila ay deaf. So, all you have to do is to gather them, tapos you do the sign language, diba? That's how you do the giving of instruction. Ngayon, kung varied yun, halimbawa you have a deaf, you have a blind, tapos you have someone with mental retardation na sa isang klase, it will be difficult for you to give out instructions, to teach colors, diba? Kasi iba-iba yung way. How will you teach a story kung iba-iba yung approach na kailangan mong ibigay? So, mas maganda at mas practical na magkakasama sila when it comes to the ease of instruction. Pangalawa is for safety reasons din. No? For example, someone with autism ay nag-tantrums. No? Halimbawa, nagwala siya, nandun siya, merong sharp object sa paligid, tapos may isang deaf na nakatalikod dahil naglalaro sa sandbox. No? So, naglalaro siya doon, nakatalikod siya sa nangyayari dahil deaf siya, hindi naman niya naririnig na may nagwawala. Ganon. Siguro nafe-feel lang niya, pero kiber. Ngayon, what if yung nagwawala na yun, nakakuha siya ng sharp object, hindi malalaman ng deaf that there's a danger behind him, diba? So, for safety reasons then, I think it's very practical and it's better for people or for children with the same disabilities to be joined together in the same class. Siyempre, the special education teacher handles the special class in the special education center or resource room. Doon sila magkakasama. So, sa public and private regular schools, there are special classes talaga. Ideally, meron talaga dapat for children with mental retardation, for those who are gifted and talented, yung mga exceptional, those who have hearing impairment, may mga learning disabilities. So, sila yung mga kinikater ng mga special or self-contained classes. Next, we have integration and mainstreaming program. So, itong programa na to, it has allowed children and youth with disabilities to study in regular classes. For the past 40 years, na simula nung nag-integrate sila ng mga bata na may special needs, so naging practice na ito. So, integration was the term used earlier, pero eventually, when it is no longer unusual to find blind, deaf, and even mentally retarded students participating in regular class activities at certain periods of the school day, ginamit na nila yung term na mainstreaming. So, there are two types of mainstreaming. No? We have the partial mainstreaming, we have the full mainstreaming. Now, let's differentiate between the two. Yung mga bata na may moderate or severe disabilities, pag sa partial mainstreaming, may mga subject lang sila na sinasamahan. No? Hindi sila sa lahat ng subjects. Subjects like physical education, home technology, music and arts, yun yung mga pwede silang mag-participate. Now, pag sinabi namang full mainstreaming, children with disabilities are enrolled in regular classes in all the subjects. So, ganun yung pinagkaiba nila. So, ang nangyayari dito, hindi naman basta na-integrate na or napunta na sa mainstream classes, pababayaan na ng SPED teacher yung bata, no? Typically, the special education teacher will assist the regular teacher sa pagtuturo dun sa bata nakaka-mainstream lang. So likewise, yung SPED teacher din, she or he gives tutorial sessions or lessons at the SPED center or resource room. Halimbawa, fully integrated or fully mainstreamed yung isang bata na may special needs, pero meron siyang difficulty sa arithmetic, so meron siyang separate tutorial session doon sa resource room. Para nang sa gayon, mas makakope siya at makahabol siya dun sa mga kaklase niya. A very good example of this is the division of Manila City Schools, no? Sa Manila, there are 15 schools that have developed mainstreaming programs. Lahat sila may carefully outlined mainstreaming guidelines. Meron din silang mga resource rooms at lahat ay nasa elementary school. So they are all over Manila. Meron sa Santa Cruz, there's one in Tondo, meron sa Santa Mesa, in Paco, in Taft Avenue. So naka-spread out. There are also instances, siguro din dahil sa shortage of special education teachers, there are times na yung isang special education teacher ay nagsiserve in more than one school. So, sinishare siya nung dalawang school na may SPED center. That is called itinerant plan. So, from the word itinerary, di ba? It means travel eh. So, yung teacher na to ay the SPED teacher, nagta-travel siya literal, no? From one school to another para mag-assist ng mga teachers kung saan na may mainstream na yung mga bata. Para to make sure that the program is being followed through, tapos it's being implemented by other schools also. Another one is the special day school. So pag sinabing special day school, we can be sure that it serves one or more types of disabilities. Tapos, they are taught by highly trained teachers. Aside from the education itself, ang special day school ay nagpa-provide din ng comprehensive array of services. Ibig sabihin, ano-ano ba yung mga kasama doon, no? Hindi lang siya pagtuturo, pero kasama na rin yung medical, psychological, and social services. We all know that when someone has special needs, that person needs more than the education, diba? Minsan nga mas kailangan nila yung psychological assistance, minsan kailangan nila yung guidance and counseling, diba? More than the math, more than the science na matututunan nila, more than the reading, mas kailangan nila minsan yung guidance when it comes to social adjustment, when it comes to accepting their condition, may mga ganon. So one very good example of that is the Southeast Asian School for the Deaf, or the SPED na mention na natin ito. Meron ding St. John Maria Vianney Special School for the Mentally Retarded in Quezon City. So there are schools na ito yung specialty nila. Lastly, we have the residential school. So the residential school provides special education and dormitory services. So from the term itself, residence, diba? Doon sila nakatira mismo. Kasama sa pinaprovide nila yung mga house parent services, they have diagnostic services. Of course, meron silang mga recreation and social activities. Ang benefit ng residential schools naman is that you can see to it na may continuity yung mga programa. Halimbawa, the skills that are being taught sa mga youth is all about personal hygiene. So, dahil dun sila nakatira, kaya mong i-follow up yon or kaya mong makita yung progress na nangyayari. Makikita mo kung consistent pa na nagdi-deodorant, makikita mo kung talaga bang kaya na niyang maligo on his own, makikita mo kung talaga bang nagtutoothbrush. Kasi minsan kapag day school lang, halimbawa, 8 to 5 nasa school, posibleng walang follow-up sa bahay. So, mas masisecure or tsaka mas masisigurado mo na yung mga itinuturo ay na-apply talaga. So, there's close monitoring pagka sa residential school. One very good example is the LC Gatches Village, if you still remember it. Doon nakatira yung mga students, mga children and youth, even adults nga, diba, na merong mental retardation. There's also one school in Pasay City, yung National School for the Blind. Sila din, it's a residential school din. Which I think is very practical kasi for someone who is blind na mag-go to school every day, mas maganda na nandun na siya, 'di ba? Hindi yung everyday magta-travel, everyday makikipagsapalaran sa traffic, ganon. So, it's best and it's very practical. Now, let's go naman to the support services for children with special needs. So, ano ba yung mga procedures, mga processes that are executed to assist special education students? So, more than the education nga, meron pa rin silang ibang pangangailangan. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung dalawa na support services that are extended to children with special needs. Let's go to the first one. The first one is the medical and clinical services. So let me read. This is done through referral services to specialists that will further help the children and youth with special needs. Ang nangyayari kasi pag ang isang bata ay pumunta sa school without proper diagnosis, tapos nakitaan siya ng mga signs and symptoms na meron siyang special needs, ang gagawin lang or magagawa lang ng school ay i-screen siya or magkaroon ng informal assessment. Kasi lalo kung wala namang resident psychologist, child psychologist doon sa school, so hindi maa-assess kung ano yung condition ng bata. So what we do is that we refer them outside. Bakit kailangan na i-refer outside? Kasi doon mas mabibigyan siya ng proper diagnosis. Aside from that, yung mga professionals, mabibigyan siya ng appropriate intervention program. So, i-recommend yun ngayon, pabalik dun sa school para yung school yung magfa-follow up din ng mga recommendations or recommended programs ng professional. So, we all know na yung conditions naman ng mga bata is really medically and clinically diagnosed. So, kaya importante na properly diagnose yung bata. Kasi baka mamaya, kapag hindi naman professional yung gumawa ng diagnosis, ang tendency, ma-misdiagnose, mamali ng intervention program. So, 'di ba, sinong magsasuffer? Magsasuffer yung bata, at the same time, magsasuffer din yung program provider. Kasi nga, hindi naman yun yung tama dun sa needs ng bata. Pero more than anybody, yung bata talaga yung magsasuffer kung hindi matugunan kung ano man talaga yung pangangailangan niya. An example of this would be yung mga school psychologists nga, the clinical psychologist. Kung kailangan ng psychometrician for psychological testing, ayun, mas mainam na mapatest yung bata, no? Aside from that, i-refer din, pwede rin i-refer sa medical doctor or dentist for general check-up. Tapos, as you can see in the first picture, yung ophthalmologist for children with blindness or low vision. Pwede rin i-refer sa otologist for children, especially those with hearing loss, yung mga may deafness, may language and speech disorder. Kasi baka mamaya na-frustrate yung teacher dahil hindi siya pinapakinggan, hindi raw nagli-listen sa kanya yung bata kahit anong sabihin niya ay hindi sinusunod. So akala niya nagpapasawa yung bata. Yun pala, may hearing loss or may hearing disorder yung bata. So, maganda na ma-check. Another example would be kung merong suspected mental retardation yung bata or learning disabilities, it would be good kung mapa-check up siya sa neurologist or child psychiatrist. Lalo pati yung mga may emotional or behavioral disorders. Now, speech therapists could be consulted also dun sa mga bata na may language and speech problem. Those naman with physical disabilities, pwede silang i-refer sa occupational therapist or physical therapist. Now, para matutunan nila yung mga basic skills when it comes to walking, when it comes to climbing, yung mga ititrain yung fine motor skills nila and even the gross motor skills. And as you can see in the picture, pwede rin i-refer yung mga bata na deaf sa mga interpreters. Bakit? Kasi they can communicate better, tapos mas matututukan sila na maturuan ng Filipino Sign Language because we're in the Philippines, no? May iba-iba kasi eh. May American Sign Language, ganun. So for us, for better communication, FSL tayo or the Filipino Sign Language. May mga bata kasi that who cannot communicate. Hindi lahat ng deaf ay nagsasign. Kaya mas mahirap yung communication. So, I'll give you an example, no? One deaf was sexually abused. Kaso, hindi siya nagsasign. And this is a real story. So, ngayon, ang nangyari is they called someone who can be an interpreter for the deaf. Nagtotok yung tao na to. Kaya lang, dahil nga hindi nagsasign yung deaf, so hindi siya makapag-communicate dun sa tao na nagsasign. No? Ang nangyari, they called in another deaf na nagsasign, tapos kaya mag-communicate dun sa deaf na hindi nagsasign. Ngayon, yung middleman na to, siya yung nakipag-usap dun sa sexually abused. After that, kinausap naman niya or nag-sign naman siya towards sa interpreter for the deaf na siyang kakausap sa mga police. So, it's a tedious process. Pero, it's best kung ganon para mas ma-communicate natin or mas makapag-communicate sila sa atin. So, saan pa pwedeng i-refer? Pwede rin i-refer ang mga bata sa mobility instructor, orientation and mobility instructor. Ang gagawin ng orientation and mobility instructor is that tuturuan niya yung mga blind to be independent pagdating sa travel. So, by the use of a cane, by the use of what they can hear, gana. So, yung mga environmental cues that they can sense, no, using their other senses that are functioning, yun ang ituturo ng mobility instructor. Nang sa ganon, mas maka-move about sila sa environment. Another support services na binibigay sa mga bata and youth with special needs would be the assistive devices. So by definition, those are instructional and learning materials and equipment that enable children with special needs to function efficiently. So thank you technology, 'di ba? Salamat na lang at marami tayong technological advancements nowadays. Kaya naman, pati yung mga bata na may special needs nagbe-benefit dito. So, ano-ano yung mga example ng assistive devices that are offered or that are here within our reach? One example would be, of course, the Braille writer or the Braille slate and stylus, Braille books para sa mga blind students. Meron ding Braille calculator, may mga ganon. So, as you can see in the picture, ganyan ang Braille, no? So, merong bawat dot dyan, bawat naka-emboss na bilog ay may ibig sabihin. So, it represents a letter, a symbol, ganon. Kaya, importante that you know the placing of those dots. Pwede rin, for those who are blind, pwede yung mga tape recorder, like what you can see in the first picture. Another example would be yung mga podcast or mga audiobook. Kasi now we have those na, diba? If our lesson would be all about literature, halimbawa, and someone has blindness, syempre, it's not advisable for you to provide a Braille book ng libro ni Shakespeare, di ba? Pero, it would be best if he will use a podcast or an audiobook containing that story, di ba? There are ways in which we can assist them. Now, for those naman with low vision, yung hindi naman sila blind, no? Pero malabo ang mata or meron lang portion ng eye na nakakakita, ganon, pwede silang gumamit ng large print books or large print typewriters. Literally, the magnifying glasses, pwede din, no? Magnifying lenses. Tapos, what they use would be the grade 1 line paper para malalaki lahat. Now, for the deaf students, makikita natin sa picture yung nag-a-attach ng hearing aid, ganon. A sign language book would be very beneficial. Sabi ko nga, kung gusto nyong magpaiyak, halimbawa gusto nyo lang mag-cry, you try watching videos sa YouTube or in TikTok. Yung mga shorts lang na the children, it's their first time to hear the voice of their mom dahil nilagyan sila ng hearing aid. Nakakaiyak yung mga ganon. Meron din yung first time nilang makakita ng color kasi they put on special glasses for the color blindness that they have. And there are so many stuff like that. Sa atin kasi, we tend to neglect the fact that all our 5 senses are functioning, no? Because we are born this way na nandyan na yung mga yan, no? But for someone who has hearing loss or who has blindness, yung mga ganon, may mga condition, having one of these senses to function would be a total miracle. So let us be reflective about that. Let's be thankful na we don't need assistive devices in order for us to function well in the society, right? For children naman with mental retardation, it's best to have an IEP, the Individual Education Plan, pagdating sa functional curriculum and adaptive behavior skills. So para namomonitor kung ano yung mga kaya na nilang gawin, what are the skills that needed to be developed and taught dun sa mga bata. For children naman with physical disabilities, as you can see in the picture, there should be mobility devices such as wheelchair. Yung iba, they are provided with braces and splints. Iba sa likod, sa legs, ganyan. On the right side, makikita nyo yung mga adjustable desk. Iba-iba din kasi diba? The bulk of the wheelchair. Hindi pwede yung typical classroom, yung cookie cutter table na iisa lang yung size, iisa lang yung height, ganon. May ibang students that they need a bigger table. Some of them, they need a higher table, ganon. Dapat, lalo yung mga may assistive devices, dapat mas malaking table dahil may mga kailangang ipatong dito, kailangang isaksak dyan, mga ganon. Yung mga iba naman yung may disability, paano kung sa left side yung disability nila? So, dapat mas free yung area na yon. Hindi pwede yung typical table na naka-surround or built lang na nandun sa harapan lang nila. So, it has to be adjustable. Yung mga desk, mga chair, mga tables na meron sila. And even the classroom, kailangan conducive siya for movement, especially for those who have wheelchairs. Diba? Dapat malaki yung pathway. Hindi pwedeng kapag kating gagalaw or magbe-break time yung bata na naka-wheelchair, kailangan hawiin lahat ng upuan. Dapat meron na siya agad accessible path to go out and in the room. So yun lang, no? Hopefully, you learned something today about the special education programs and services. And we all hope na yung mga ito ay ma-provide din sa mga bata na may special needs. Kasi sila talaga yung magbe-benefit para mas ma-facilitate yung gathering of information nila, para mas facilitate yung pag-aaral nila. Kailangan sana, ideally, no, all these things will be provided for them. Well, in reality, there are hurdles, no, for them to access all of this. Pero the good thing to know is that there are options para mapabuti yung life nila. There are people, there are professionals who are really nakatutok dun sa mga condition nila para ma-assist sila. So have a good day, everybody. Goodbye.